Good morning, Mark and friends. I'm Joey, and together with Supeng, Hilary, and Junhao, we'll be presenting on Case 1. Should supermarket giants accept obesity blame? Firstly, let me give an executive summary on the two articles. The first article states that supermarkets should be held responsible for the increasing obesity rates, whereby a study has revealed that supermarket catalogs contribute to an environment that supports unhealthy eating behavior. The context of the article is based on Australia, which has a high rate of obesity that has tripled in the last 30 years. On the flip side, the second article states that supermarkets should not be held fully responsible for the increasing obesity rates, whereby personal choice is an important factor at play. The article is based on Hong Kong, where supermarkets are not the major source of food for families, but rather wet markets. The author also credits the lower obesity rates in Hong Kong as compared to other developed economies to how Cantonese food is predominantly vegetarian. Now, moving on to a local context in Singapore, recent trends seem to suggest that Singaporeans are moving towards healthier diets, with more people increasing their consumption of healthy products like whole grain, fruits, and vegetables. The change in Singapore seems to reflect a change in taste and preferences due to various health promotion policies, such as the inclusion of healthier choice symbols on certified supermarket product packaging. It also appears that the trend for increased consumption of healthy food happened despite the various discounts for unhealthy food products in supermarkets, which are apparent through taking a walk through a supermarket or by simply browsing their websites. Now, why are the unhealthy products' cheaper prices likely to cause a public health issue? As evident from the supply and demand graph, as price of a good decreases, the quantity demanded for it will increase. The introduction to the elasticity concept will give us greater insights into why lower prices can lead to a more than proportionate change. Price elasticity of demand is defined as the percentage change in the quantity demanded for a good, given a 1% change in the price of the good itself. In the context of food, healthy and unhealthy food can be argued to fulfill the same need, which is the need for food and sustenance. Hence, they are likely to be substitute goods. The decrease in the price of one will lead to a decrease in the demand for the other. Thus, a decrease in the price of unhealthy products will lead to a decrease in the demand for healthy food. The frequent discounts and generally low prices of unhealthy products can lead to consumers switching from consuming healthy food to unhealthy food, and hence, this leads to a corresponding increase in demand for unhealthy food. The demand for less healthy products is also likely to be elastic, where consumers deem them to be close substitutes with a lack of proper information on the nutritional value in the food, leading to a more than proportionate increase in quantity demanded. With the higher consumption of unhealthy varieties of food, this compounds into a public health issue over time. Now, I'll be passing on the time to Junhao, who will be elaborating more on why supermarkets give discounts to unhealthy food, as well as the demographic groups likely to be more affected by these pricing strategies.
Thank you very much, Joey. I'm Junhao, and now I'll be going through what is the main reason that supermarkets give deeper and more frequent discounts for unhealthy products. The first reason we believe is due to the high PED of unhealthy products. In a research paper that studied the consumption of unhealthy food, specifically sugary drinks and snacks, across different income levels in Australian households, it was found that the approximate PED of sugary drinks were around negative 0.77, while for sugary snacks it was between negative 0.66 and negative 0.74. This means that a decrease in price will lead to a high increase in quantity demanded of the product, and from the perspective of the producer and the supermarket, it is worthwhile to give out discounts more frequently since products with higher PED use higher profit due to the high increase in quantity demanded when the price is lowered. Now, for the second reason, we believe it may be due to behavioral economic factors. For instance, prospect theory teaches us that consumers base their cost benefit analysis off of an established reference point. It is possible that a discount could frame the purchase decision as consumers saving the discounted amount rather than losing the purchase price, and this subverts the loss aversion that consumers may feel when they make the purchase decisions. While we do not currently have empirical evidence for this hypothesis, we suggest that an experiment can be conducted where two separate groups of consumers can be made to purchase the same product at the same price, but one of the product will be shown at a price of $10 after a discount, while the other will be shown at $10 as the original price. And depending on which group of consumer purchase more, this will shed light on our hypothesis. Next, I will break down the impact of the frequent discounts across different demographics in the society. So first, for the rich versus poor population, the poorer population will be more affected since the prices of food products represents a higher proportion of their income, meaning the purchase decision of poorer households will more likely be dictated by their budgetary constraint rather than taste and preferences. So the PED of the unhealthy food products will be higher for poorer households than compared to the richer households. Next, for kids versus adults, we believe that the discounts will likely affect kids more because kids are more enticed by the taste of food rather than the health benefits. So, when we talk about utility, this means that the kids will derive higher subjective utility from the consumption of unhealthy food products, and as a result, when there are frequent discounts, more kids will switch over to eating unhealthy food compared to adults. So next, for rural versus countryside, a study of Australia urban versus rural community consumption patterns seem to suggest that rural households experience higher rate of obesity due to their lower income in rural communities. Along with the perception that healthy food are more expensive, since food security is the main reason for poorer rural communities, it can be inferred that the frequent discount of unhealthy food products will have a greater impact on the rural communities compared to their richer urban counterparts. Next, I'll be passing the time over to Hilary.
Thank you, Chin Hao. I will now be moving on to Singaporean supermarkets. Do they give more frequent discounts to healthy products or unhealthy products? Do Singaporeans consume more healthy food or unhealthy food? There have been instances where Singaporean supermarkets gave discounts on healthy products in order to encourage consumption of healthier food items. For example, in 2017, FairPrice, the largest supermarket chain in Singapore with over 130 outlets, gave discounts of at least 10% on 8 healthier rice products, including unpolished red and brown rice products from its house brand, for around a week. In addition, Singapore Health Promotion Board have also partnered with local supermarkets to give discounts and raise awareness on healthy food products. However, these events promoting healthier foods are less frequent and regular. Due to their busy lifestyles, many Singaporeans nowadays are grazing, which means consuming extra calories throughout the days by snacking on the go and skipping their regular 3 meals at the usual timings. These modern eating habits, due to hectic work life, lead to an increased demand for sweet, salty, and fatty foods that can be purchased on the go during non-fixed periods of the day. Hence, by simply walking around any supermarket in Singapore, one can quickly find out that discounts are given more frequently to unhealthy products that can satiate easily and are convenient to consume. Although Singaporeans are still consuming more unhealthy food as a whole, they are moving towards eating healthier foods nowadays. There has been a positive trend towards increased intake of healthier carbohydrates. People are starting to become more health conscious and are consuming more whole grains, fruits, and vegetables. However, Singaporeans' high intake of sugar and salt is still a huge problem. 90% of Singaporeans are eating more than 9 grams of salt daily, which is almost twice that of the recommended 5 grams. Consumption of sugar is at a worrying high amount of 60 grams, more than twice the World Health Organization's recommendation of 25 grams a day. Of all the carbohydrates consumed by an average Singaporean in a day, unrefined carbohydrates make up 17%, which is an increase by 3% from 2010. Total fat consumption is around 35%, which is at the upper range of the recommended amount. However, this is less worrying given the fact that the quality of fats being consumed has improved, with unsaturated fat displacing saturated fat. Is there any difference between Cold Storage, Sheng Siong's, and FairPrice's sets of promotional items? If so, why? A quick scroll through on FairPrice's online website shows that its current set of promotional items include instant milk tea, potato chips, chocolate wafers, frozen foods, cereal, canned food, beer, alcohol, instant noodles, soft drinks, and popcorn. It also has offers for basmati rice, fresh milk, bottled water, and plain crackers. Browsing through Cold Storage's website, we can find relatively healthier food items on sale. These include many different kinds of fruits, fresh cuts of meat, vegetables, organic buckwheat pasta, brown rice pasta, and organic snacks. Still, there are frozen meats, frozen vegetables, chocolates, frozen fruits, cookies, ice cream, instant noodles, and chips on sale. For Sheng Siong, there are chocolates, chips, instant tea and coffee, canned drinks, frozen foods, beers, wafers, canned foods, instant noodles, and chocolate spreads on discount. In contrast, its healthier promotional items include wheat snacks, fresh vegetables, fresh fruits, fresh milk, and yogurts. Sheng Siong has the least amount of promotional items. Across the board, it seems that there is a pattern of higher proportion of promotional items being unhealthy food. Cold Storage has the highest percentage of healthy promotional items, while FairPrice has the lowest percentage of healthy promotional items. This can be attributed to the fact that Cold Storage caters mostly to the higher income families and can be found in the more affluent neighborhoods, where Sheng Siong and FairPrice cater more to the low and middle income families and are more commonly located. Since higher income families will be more willing to spend higher amounts on healthier alternatives, Cold Storage promotes a higher proportion of healthy food. Now I will be passing my time on to Zhu Peng.
Thanks for Hillary. This is Zhu Peng. Now let's move to the question 7. Singapore has the second highest proportion of diabetics among developed nations. A report in 2015 by IDF revealed, should Singaporean supermarket take a share of blame for it, and why? Diabetes is a preventable disease, and recent studies have shown that the layout of supermarkets have a large impact on consumer spending. The Vice President of Diabetic Society of Singapore attributes the high proportion of diabetics in Singapore to a combination of genetic and lifestyle. Study shows that diabetes is more prevalent in individuals with higher fat percentage, since Asians tend to carry more body fat due to genetic predispositions. It's not surprising that Singapore, being an Asian country, has a high rate of diabetes. While genetic causes cannot be attributed to supermarket, they should nevertheless take a share of blame due to the impact that supermarket environments have on the food choices of people, which is a component in people's lifestyle. Now let's move to question 8. Do you have any policy advice for our health-conscious regulators? Obviously, you should let the market do the work, which means you can't simply advise to ban the promotion on unhealthy products. Perhaps you should relate your advice to your answers to question 4, because certain demographic group possibly needs more help than the others. The first strategy can be used is using health star rating system. So how it works. The HSR is an Australian government initiative that assigns health rating to packaged food and beverage. Much like the healthier choice symbol that is on branding, the health star rating system introduced a logo which will be placed on package. But unlike the former, the health star rating system is much more comprehensive, as the logo includes a rating from a scale of 1 to 5 on how healthy the food is, which depends on nutrition, composition, and other factors, as the image shows on the top right corner. Now let's look at the effectiveness of this method. This method will likely be effective as the result from the Healthier Choice logo shows that consumers are cautious of health symbols being attached to packaging of the foods they purchase and will change their taste and preference accordingly. Now let's move to the second method. So educational campaign can be another way to change people's taste and preference. And there are two kinds of groups we may focus on. The first group is poor population. So PSA should try to fight against the perception that healthy food is more expensive than unhealthy food. That's normally poor population would have. It can be achieved by a comparison of price of healthy versus unhealthy food to educate the public on how to construct a grocery basket with healthier choices on lower budget. And the reason why we need to target on kids is because it's very hard for an adult who grew up with an unhealthy diet to transform his healthy by changing his eating habits. But for a young child, a successful campaign can prevent them developing an unhealthy eating habit, so they are more likely to live in a healthy lifestyle in the future. It's kind of a long-term strategy to fight against the diabetes. Okay, thanks for listening, and that's all for our presentation. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask.